in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories that we're making tonight. Oh yeah, we'll make it tonight. Yeah, I'll do anything that I feel like I wanna do. I'm living life like I got nothing left to prove. No end in sight, just always staying on the move. I'll go all night if that's just what I gotta do. Life's too short to care about what you can't afford. Memories are in what you explore.
Well, I guess I might as well get into yet another wrestling game, as if this month wasn't full of them already. WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2008 was a complete joke, so having any expectations for 2009, I guess in turn allowed me to enjoy one of these games, because in SVR09 we have improved combat, controls, and introduction of a classic match type, Inferno Match.
These men will fight for their life as they attempt to drag their opponent into that hellfire.
I was completely caught off guard by just how much fun I was having with WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2009 for the PlayStation 2.
I'm scared, people. Truly scared.
Sure, there's quite a few problems still holding this game back, but for the most part, I think we finally found a good WWE Smackdown vs. Raw game. Let's get into it. Starting off with Create a Superstar, they decided to change up how facial hair works. In turn, this means less options as well, so I couldn't give people proper facial hair. So, if, say, I were to bring back Schlatt into this game, to which I didn't for everyone's safety, he would look even less like himself than in 2006. I mean, he has more complex facial hair than most other YouTubers / streamers I like to add into games after all. Anyways, that gripe aside, CaseOh mode is just fine.
Yep.
There's no real additional content on offer in this game, so Derp still doesn't have his proper hair, so I gave him a green mohawk for a bit before changing it back to the Slim Jim mascot looking one later on. Why does Ukes hate spiky hairstyles? Thankfully, I could give everyone else their respective hair. Asmongold kept his pulled back receding hairline ponytail, of course. Bald.
Suck a fucking dick, shut the fuck up.
So yeah, there's no real improvements or additions to Create a Superstar. It's just more of the same, with tons of screen shaking / shimmering. More on that later. Honestly, would have loved to have seen more hairstyles, let alone shoes, as there's also less boots this time around. What a weird thing to call from the game.
You really are too picky.
Create a moveset returns to normal, as we can use unique movesets once more.
It's a miracle.
Nothing else has been changed or added to this mode, so we'll move on to Create an Entrance.
You can be my plaything. I can be your toy.
Nothing has been changed for Create an Entrance as well. No additional entrances, no improvements to the load times, nothing. It's just the same as usual, except one minor issue. Yep, they cut the audio altogether in this mode. If you disable the music, you won't have the fireworks announcer or even the crowd to make sounds. This is thankfully only in Create an Entrance, as in-game, the sound effects do come back. What a weird thing to do.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel alive, and there's nothing that makes me happy.
The new creation mode introduced in SVR09 is Create a Finisher, and it's so tacked on here, much like in SVR06 had Create an Entrance. It's so basic, with no real reason for its existence. But whatever, you can make a simple finisher of up to 10 frames, change the speed and preview it, then you go to create a moveset to assign it to whoever you want to use it. Then in game, check it out.
He almost took his opponent's head off with that Larry.
Looks like he's going for it.
While in the creation suite, you'll notice stables are no longer here. Yep, they moved it yet again. Now it's under My WWE in the main menu alongside the options menu.
Why?
So if you want to create stables, you now know where to look. And as for if anything's been else changed, not really. It's just more of the same. Yet again, in terms of what you can do. Just assign members to the stable, if it's a tag team or an alliance, so if they'll enter the ring together, or they'll enter separately, and then name it. Oh, and if you're wondering where the entrances are, well, they moved those as well.
Shit the fuck!
Yep. Once again, another pointless move to make this game different from the last one. So when you go to create an entrance, you can select single or team. That's where you can now assign stables their entrances for duo, and then separately you can select trio. Yeah, instead of just select them in the same menu like before, this game doesn't like convenience and wants you to suffer more menu navigation and of course loading screens that can take upwards of 30 plus seconds a pop.
Fuck that!
Oh, and to make matters worse, they removed several duo and trio entrance options for stables. Oh boy howdy, now you're stuck with even less options. Just what I want in the sequel, less shit. Fuck you, Ukes, fuck you.
Fuck you! I ain't having that shit!
On to the combat, starting with the updated roster. Now this roster is quite possibly one of the best ones so far. I recognize several people here. The only con is if you're on PS2 like I am, we're missing out on several wrestlers because this game introduced DLC. Only PS3 and 360 owners could get hold of anyone with the arrow icon on their portrait. That symbolizes DLC. But then again, I doubt anyone is going to care if they can't get hold of Super Crazy, Chris Haas, or Earthquake.
Who's that?
The only one I'd like to get is Doink. But I can always just make someone and create a superstar, like JonTron. Man, I missed that opportunity, huh?
So what? I'm funny now? I'm a funny guy just because I'm dressed like a clown? I suppose you think I shouldn't have a gun either!
Because of this roster, I got a good variety to build off of for my own cause, plus uniques to play with that I know of. If it's not 90s WWF, it has to be around 2008 to 2011 WWE for me to recognize most people. Those were the years I was more active watching wrestling. Anyways, onto the combat system, which remains mostly unchanged.
This is going to be big, one way or the other.
I'm about to take my trolls
He
off!
drops the elbow.
I'm about to take my trolls off!
And he takes him down with the toss.
Let me on it! You're about to make me really Wait a second, what's he doing? Fist me, Dolores! Fatality.
Yet, they did do something. They finally fleshed out SVR 2007's combat system. Everything is more responsive, more smooth, running around, performing body slams, grapples, and even reversals are now better than ever before.
He's going in for the kill. Oh, leg drop connects. Where anything can turn into pandemonium in a heartbeat. It's not the safest working environment, but it's definitely the most exciting.
I'm lost for words on how to describe this combat. 2007 has finally gotten what it should have had years ago. Everything is responsive, climbing in and out of the ring, using weapons, even finishers are a joy to use.
Flat out, tap out. You know, I don't care how bad you are. The fact of the matter is the human body is only capable of so much. He's stalking his opponent from the top turnbuckle.
You die! CaseOh wins. Fatality.
So yeah, reversals are now less of a pain. I mean, it's still a bit touchy, yet also it's less of a pain to pull off reversals. I love it. Things are just so much more fluid and fun. It took them 3 games, 3 years to finally make a combat system that's actually good. In 2008, the stamina system was hidden. Now it's toggleable. You want it? Enable it under gameplay options. If not, don't worry. It's not a thing by default. And let me tell you, it's great to go back to more arcade, fast-paced action of old, but with smoother controls. 2009 has hit the nail perfectly. Good job, Ukes.
Applying form, sending the opponent crashing down to the ground. And he dropped the leg across his opponent.
No more falling over after a few moves with no status bar on what your stamina is. No longer is your body damage hidden. It will appear as you fight and get damaged. The UI is still a bit of a pain because of its layout, but that's a tiny gripe. You want a good control and wrestling game on PS2? This is it.
A sharp kick, wearing down his opponent.
When you get slammed around, knocked around, and fall flat on your face, the button mashing marathon of 2007 and 2008 has finally been fixed. Now, when you mash buttons, it recovers faster, and then you press X a few times. You can even throw up a guard via L2 and R2. Now, when I get knocked down, I'm no longer dreading my controller's lifespan. Thank God.
I could watch these superstars go at it all night, JR. The referee has called for the bell.
So, this means we no longer use those generic movesets from 2008.
Oh my god, that sounds amazing.
Cause now use everyone else's moves accordingly to what you set up and create a moveset. I'm so happy to finally have everyone back to their old selves. Well, minus poor Zach, who lost Scotty to Hottie a few games ago, so now he's based on Edge. Last time he was Rick Rude with his entrance at the least. Kinda miss making him go boingy 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 boingy. Oh well, the Attitude Era is long dead, folks.
This is a classic matchup. And there's the elimination.
The only problem I have with the combat is the camera when exiting the ring. I cannot comprehend what they were thinking. Why are we going Resident Evil Code Veronica up in here? I don't like the idea of fixed cameras and chase cams outside of the ring, following my wrestler around as my view is obscured. Plus, it's worse when you get several wrestlers fighting at once. I wish I could disable this, but if I do, I'll disable all cinematic cameras, including finishers and body slams, throwing your opponent into the fire in an Inferno match. I don't want that. I just want to get rid of the outside of the ring Resident Evil-esque camera. What a stupid change-up that makes me not want to leave the ring.
1. He's going for the pin. 1, 2, 3. And a triple, and that's the match.
What happened?
The single new match type is Inferno match, and unlike previous single match types added, this one is actually loads of fun. Being restricted to the ring, surrounded by the flames of hell, having to slam your opponent into the mat several times just to get the temperature up to 500 degrees, and then drag your opponent to the edge, set him on fire, and toss him over the ring. This match was loads of fun. One of the several removed match types is hardcore. Yep, it's gone. Now you only have ECW Extreme Rules match, which is basically just hardcore, but with some tacky gimmicks of picking what weapon you want from underneath the ring. Yeah, no, fuck that. Where's your standard hardcore match? Bullshit, bring it back. What kind of wrestling game doesn't have a standard hardcore match? I'll tell you, a bad one.
Run for your life! What?
They also removed tornado tag matches. So you can no longer be in the ring together at once, nor can you have 3-man tornado tag, or even one of my favorite, triple threat tornado tag, where 3 teams of 2 fight for dominance. That's all gone in this game. I do not understand why they had to remove them. It makes 0 sense.
This game makes no sense.
I was so mad once I noticed this. Part of the fun is having several people fighting at once in these games, especially WWF Smackdown Just Bring It, where we had 8 people fighting at once. I just don't get this removal. Was it memory issues? Technical complications? Removed for the sake of removing something I like just to resell it to me next time? Like backstage brawls, which they butchered? Whatever the answer is, it's bullshit. Road to WrestleMania is a new mode, and it's just a career mode where you play as a unique wrestler. I have 0 interest in this mode and will be skipping it. Counting this mode as a con, alongside tournament and career, as it's stuff I do not like. So let's move on to the other section. And that's it in terms of new things. This game is lackluster. As someone who hates playing as unique wrestlers when I rather play as my own creations, plus never liking careers in most games. I don't have much else to play with in this installment. Removing match types I like triple threat, tornado tag, and tornado tag matches altogether. Just help lead me to becoming more easily bored. Don't get me wrong, the combat is greatly improved, and so far is the best combat in WWE games that I've played and reviewed, and I've reviewed several.
You ain't lying.
SVR09's lack of substance, for me, just hurted its chances of being anything great. Let's hope that SVR10 will be better. Of course, it won't be a PlayStation 2 game without bad load times, especially one by Ukes. As per usual, load times are over 30 seconds a pop per loading screen, and remember, there's usually 3 loading screens till you get into a match or mode. Yep, you got the usual loading screen with images, then you got the black loading screen with the SVR logo in the corner, and then finally a loading screen with tips before you can begin playing the match. And if you enable entrances, loading screens in between each entrance, and then before you can even get into the match. It all just adds up to over time. It makes the game less fun to play. If most of my playtime is waiting around doing nothing, why am I even playing a video game? Might as well loiter around a retirement home. More exciting things occur at a place like that than this game. A very annoying thing with this game is there's a lot of screen shaking / shimmering. I'm not sure if you can see it in the recording, but I could see it plain as day during gameplay. It's very annoying, especially when creating wrestlers. Not sure what it is and if there's a way to stop it. I noticed this on a few other PS2 games that came out late into the console's life, so I'm assuming it's just the console struggling to keep up. Given it was the weakest console of its generation, it survived into 2013, 2014? Having one of the longest console lifespans of all time alongside the likes of the OG Game Boy? It's whatever, but I do hate it.
Okay, quit nagging.
Why is options hidden in the main menu? Alright, some graphics designer needed to justify their existence at the company still. What else is new? They also hid create a stable with options. My WWE is where it's all located now, and doesn't make any sense. It's just different for the sake of being different and not an improvement kind of different. That makes things worse. There's nothing worse than a pointless difference or a bad difference. There's no reason for this. I thought I wasn't going to be able to review this game at first because of the copyrighted music blaring most of the time, till I found options under my WWE. I thought that was some kind of new mode akin to GM mode or PPV mode, so I didn't bother looking at it at first. I mean, what were they thinking?
What is your logic?
Well, that means we're down to 2 more games. One that I played like crazy on 360 and PS3 back in my teen years. And I also played on my channel making gameplay videos back in 2023 on PS2. So SVR 2010 is next, whenever I get to it. From what I remember, that game had a lot of stuff. So let's see if nostalgia isn't blinding me with that one like SVR 07.
Here we go again.
At the end of the day, WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2009 really surprised me. It finally fleshed out the combat, has a decent roster, and, well, that's about it. There's a lack of call assets I'd like to have, the screen shaking is annoying, the UI is still a pain, especially menu navigation, as not everything is placed where it should be because some graphics designer had to justify why they're still at the company, like all graphics designers, and why I'm in support of AI taking their jobs.
Based.
The soundtrack is terrible. The lack of new match types sucks. They removed some of my favorite matches over the last couple of games at this point. Road to WrestleMania shouldn't even be here. Career and tournament shouldn't also exist. They should be removed in favor of more disk space for match types, CAW assets, and wrestlers in general. The camera is annoying outside of the ring. Why does it change like that? Especially when there's other wrestlers in the match. It's dumb and ruins the flow of the game. Sure, I can disable it probably under options, but that would also get rid of the other camera shots, like when you body slam people, pull off a finisher, throw someone into the fire in an Inferno match, and of course, shove the referee as a dirty fighter. So I don't want to disable the camera shots altogether, just outside of the ring one. Just makes no sense why it's even a thing.
True.
The long load times are inexcusable. I don't care if this is, well, into the 7th generation of console gaming. If you're making a version for the 6th generation, you better optimize it for said platform. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. So having over 40-second loading screens is a major con to this game.
True that. Now that's true, Brandon.
But outside of this, I did enjoy the fact the stamina isn't a thing by default. The combat feels good to play, though reversals can still be a pain here and there, and an Inferno match is fun to burn people with. Who doesn't want to set someone on fire?
I don't like where this is going.
I'm enthused again to play more wrestling games whenever I can finally get to WWE Smackdown vs. Raw 2010 done. It'll be uploaded when it's ready. But for now, I feel like this is a good place to stop reviewing wrestling games for a bit. All month long, all I've reviewed was wrestling, fishing, The Sims, sports games, budget games from Japan and Europe, and the worst Mario Kart clone.
Is that all?
So I feel like it's time to try some other games to keep my schedule from being too samey. Not sure what's next, but hey, hope you enjoyed this review. If you did, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to the channel, so I can keep growing and keep being motivated to keep going.
You're such a nag.
Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
He's going in for the kill. Oh, leg drop connects. Where anything can turn into pandemonium in a heartbeat. It's not the safest working environment, but it's definitely the most exciting.
Nothing in sight, forever in flight. Follow those lines, we'll make it this time. Blurry street lights, work as a guide to memories